Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Mountains are mourning the death of Philip Haywood as former students, rivals, and more remember the unforgettable coach.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday, Mountain family. My name is Amelia Lee. On today's January 24th, it is Friday, as we've been saying, and the time is now 6 o'clock. Also time to check on in with our friend, meteorologist Megan Dusmal, for a check-in on the forecast this morning. Megan, we're happy it's Friday. That's a great thing. We're also happy because it seems to be more sweater weather than coat weather, just because of how cold it's been recently.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. You have to add into effect that it has been colder when you say that sweater weather part. But yes, it's definitely warmer than we have been seeing the past week. In fact, those current temperatures we're looking at are warmer than the highs that we saw at the early stages of the week. We are in the upper teens, in some places in the mid-20s this morning. 25 in Hazard, Jackson, Somerset, Monticello, in Jacksboro, and a little bit warmer as you're heading towards Pikeville, 26. Now, we've been talking on and off about Alaska the past couple of days. How do we compare today? Well, we're still looking at quite the big difference. Unfortunately, we are at 25 here in Hazard and 42 in Anchorage, Alaska. So a big difference there. But last night when we saw those warmer temperatures, at one point we're only 1 degree different. So hey, we're bridging that gap slowly but surely. Let's take a look at that satellite and radar as we are watching some snow bringing itself into our region this morning. You can see that towards Wayne County, Kentucky. We'll continue to have snow chances on and off, very slight snow chances throughout the rest of your day. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. Following the death of legendary coach Philip Haywood, the Pond Creek community is mourning a man who they say was so much more than a coach. Haywood led the Belfry Pirates for 41 years, seeing generations of student athletes find their footing on his field, up until his death on Wednesday. Those students are now remembering the lessons he taught and the man he was, preparing to say their goodbyes this weekend. And though they are having a hard time imagining a season without their coach, his football program is planning to rally together for the upcoming season in his memory.
We don't want it to happen like this, and we sure didn't think it was going to be this soon. But he was preparing us to take the next step, to move this program, to take it even further. He's left it in great shape.
Players, both current and former, say they will never forget the lessons they learned or the man who believed in them along the way. Players are not the only members of the football community remembering Coach Haywood. Rival coaches who were more friend than foe are also reminiscing on their meetings with Coach Haywood, both on and off the field. I was able to sit down with Bell County head football coach Dudley Hilton about the impact Haywood made on his life. For 50 years, Coach Dudley Hilton and Coach Philip Haywood met on various football fields throughout the Commonwealth. Although their teams competed, Hilton says Haywood was a friend.
He sure taught me a lot of things, and we learned from each other. We was both very competitive, and he helped me be a better coach.
Inspiring him to succeed on and off the field.
I've seen what he was doing, and I guess he made me go to work more, and I appreciate the leadership that he had, that he wanted to win, and it sure rubbed off on me because that's kind of what I wanted to do.
With a humility that was noticed by other coaches and players.
He was a person that never did stick out his chest as far as what all he's accomplished. He sold his program his way. He had a great football program in Belfry.
Creating successful football teams with his leadership skills.
Phil didn't have a show, he had a program, and I think that's what I learned more from him than anything.
Hilton is the second winningest high school football coach in Kentucky, second only to Haywood.
Phil will always be the all-time winningest coach to me.
Sharing stories of players and rooting for the success of each and every kid.
You know, as coaches, what more you want to watch and learn from is a guy like Phil Haywood.
Hilton says he lost a longtime friend.
The good Lord's got a heck of a football coach. I want to be there with him someday, and I'm hoping he's at the pearly gate waiting on me.
Other high school coaches have shared their thoughts about Haywood. You can find some of those and more coverage on our website, WYMT.com. Funeral arrangements for Haywood were set for this weekend at Belfry High School. His visitation takes place from 3 until 8 on Saturday in the auditorium. His funeral is set for noon on Sunday in the gymnasium. Philip Haywood was 73.
If you're about to head out the door, here's what I recommend you be aware of. First of which, we had those temperatures above freezing yesterday, leading to some places seeing some melting. And we had those temperatures drop below freezing overnight, meaning places that didn't evaporate yesterday could very easily have iced over. Now, the good news is we're looking at that current visibility. There is no fog in the area. Very positive. And as we look at the satellite and radar, well, unfortunately, we do have some areas that could be experiencing some snow this morning, especially as you're heading towards Wayne County, Kentucky. We'll continue to watch that move into our area. Current temperatures, though, are in the 20s and upper teens, so make sure you set out that extra time to defrost your car and scrape your windshield. Amelia.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Firefighters gain more control over yet another blaze outside Los Angeles. Well, much of the region begins inching forward on the long road to rebuilding.
This is Dr. Watts. I have a patient with some concerning symptoms. Do you have a cardiologist that could see her right away?
I can work around to see Dr. Hanshew.
Experience, knowledge. These are just a few of the critical factors that make the Heart and Vascular Institute at Pikeville Medical Center nationally recognized.
I've been treating a 62-year-old male for atrial fibrillation. I suspect MR and that he is going to need advanced cardiac imaging.
I'll be happy to see him. We will get him in as soon as possible.
PMC Valve Clinic, how may I help you?
This is Dr. Amli Ali. I need to add a patient to Valve Clinic's schedule. They have severe aortic stenosis and need to see Dr. Asali.
No problem, we can get him in this week.
Okay, we have several patients scheduled for TAVR this week. This is a 67-year-old female.